Hi, everyone, and welcome to Rescripted Podcast, where we could celebrate the great things in life, share about the not so great parts, and find out how we can rewrite those challenges, turn them into insightful moments that will lead us to change, to growth, to happiness, and empowerment, all so that we can live the life we truly want to experience. In today's episode, we are going to talk about negative mindset and what does that do for you. You know, there's so many things that we try in new endeavors and things that will naturally make us nervous, right? But there's a difference between being nervous and actually not coaching yourself or believing yourself to be able to go through. And in fact, what you end up doing is self-sabotaging yourself by not fully going forward with the thing that you really want to achieve, to be a part of. Now, you have to ask yourself, there's a reason why you have a little bit of that negative talk, right? It can be as small or as simple as just doubting yourself, which if you've never done anything, it's so easy to doubt yourself, right? But then there's something that's totally different when it comes to negative self-talk. It's where you actually talk yourself out of all the things you've already accomplished, believing that you already achieved all these things. In your mind, no matter what you do, you're still not good enough. You kind of play that record back in your mind of repeating that you don't have what it takes. And you know, once you start doing that, you honestly have to see and really start to evaluate, like, how is that benefiting you in any way? Because when we do kind of stop ourselves from doing something, it really is on a basis of trying to protect ourselves. So when you do this negative talk, ask yourself, you know, how is this benefiting you? How are you protecting yourself? What are you protecting yourself from? And then you're able to go down the line and see kind of like the rationale behind how you speak to yourself. And if you don't like it, you definitely have to find the way where you can prevent yourself from doing that moving forward, because what you're actually doing is hindering yourself. So in this process, you're going to look and see what are you gaining from talking to yourself in this way and having those negative thoughts about you? How does it feed what you're doing, what you're working towards? How does it build you up? And when you break it down, you're going to see that not very much. It's not building you up very much. It's not prepping you for anything that you really need. What it is almost allowing you to stay in this position continuously. Whatever ground you have covered, you're pretty much just staying right there. You feel good with what you've accomplished. You almost feel like you're lucky that you accomplished that, and you're just like, well, let's just camp out here. And if we try anything outside of that, I'm going to remind myself that, like, I'm even lucky that I got to this stage. And that's just not fair to you, because there's a reason why you have aspirations. There's a reason why you want to cover more ground. And it's so easy to kind of blame everybody else for the things that you have limitations on. But truly, there's nothing that limits us more than us. And a lot of times it comes down to this. It comes down to how we talk to ourselves. So if you're having a habit of, you know, putting yourself down, you have to understand that that is not fruitful for you at all. And if anything, you are actually kind of being your own bully in a sense, you know, if you really look at it that way, because there's so much that you've already accomplished. And I think what you have to do is just change the mindset that you have and be able to say, okay, like, let's just see what we have done. Let's see how much ground we have covered. Let's go ahead and see the accomplishments that, you know, that I did achieve, and be able to paint that picture, because that's going to be the more authentic picture of you, you know. And once you start doing that, you're going to start to see the lines connect of who you really are. And you're going to be able to take that negative talk and you're going to realize, like, for whatever reason, for whatever hiccup, for whatever nervousness I had, maybe that was in the beginning, and it served me to kind of just, allow me to know what my strengths and what my weaknesses are, so I understood like what my lane is per se. But after starting, you have developed all these different skill sets and abilities and formulas that have helped you move on to success. So now that's pretty much what you want to hone in more, because you have to see, at the end of the day, the only way to set yourself free from this negative mindset is, one, it has to be your own doing, because I could sit here and I could build you up so much, and I think even friends and colleagues could sit there and tell you how amazing you are and how wonderful you are and how grateful they are to have you a part of their team. But if you don't believe it in yourself and you don't view yourself that way, it's going to be really hard for you to even believe it in the first place, because you are creating a blockage of that image of yourself. And you're not only doing that in a sense of trying to, like, protect yourself, not to let yourself get too overwhelmed, not to get yourself like too overloaded with work, but actually what you're doing is hindering yourself, because there's a part of you that naturally just wants to grow. That's just life, that's just progression. We all want to grow, and that's why we crave different things. And that's why when we've been doing something for so long, you're kind of just like, this is like, I'm getting a little bored of this. It's because you want to experience it maybe on a different level, or maybe experience something all together. But the only way to be able to free yourself from that is first look at yourself and say that the only one that can free you from that is you. And in order to do that, you have to show yourself the evidence of otherwise. So of course, like I said, you're going to look and you're going to see all the things that you feel, and those are valid. So you can go ahead and write those down. And what specific like self-talk are you giving yourself? What are those non-pep talks that you're giving yourself that kind of just reiterate those beliefs of your inabilities, right? And write those down, and then go ahead and write down the things that you've achieved, and see how those two differ, and see how you're able to map out the picture that you're not as incompetent as you may be telling yourself that you are. You're not as lost as you're wanting to seem. The only thing that you're really experiencing is just being nervous to move on, because you don't have the full picture of what you're really aiming towards. And because you don't have a full picture of what you're aiming towards, then it makes it so easy to self-doubt, because you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, and you're just like, I'm winging it, and you don't want to give yourself credit. But you have to see that there's something in you that's allowing you to wing it and make it happen. But because you don't take inventory of your life, you're not really seeing what this winging it behavior is actually producing. So if you can take inventory and just be like, I covered it, I don't know how I did it, but I'm happy it's over and it was a success, but I don't know if I could replicate that. Go ahead, take inventory of that and see what it is. What is this magic, like winging that brings you to success, this kind of luck that brings you to success, and see what that pattern is. Because you may not have a full vision and full view of where you're going, but if you're able to find the pattern of success that you already have, like your track record, then at least that's going to give you some insight as to where you are going, like what you are good at, and some of the things that you are reliable and people can count on you for. And once you start to identify with the way that you're able to contribute to different things and projects, and just like your environment around you, then at least you're able to have like a form of an identity. It may not be the full scope, it may not be the full picture, but at least you'll just be like, okay, well, at least I know I'm good at this, and at least I know that people can count on me when it comes to this, and at least I know I'm pretty good at executing this. So I may not have my full identity mapped out, but at least I understand how I do add value and how I do bring value, and at least that's going to start correcting that negative talk that you're giving yourself, because it's not true. If you've made it this far, there's so many accomplishments. Even if you want to think of something as small as a baby, if you learn how to crawl, if you learn how to walk, if you've known how to, feed yourself, those are great accomplishments. And I'm sure you've exceeded those and many more. So that just goes to show that you have a track record of success. So just go ahead and look at the different things that allowed you to have success. And then go ahead and look at the things where you feel like you still have to develop, and look at what those components would be to get you there. So it's not about beating yourself up, it's about building yourself up, and that is a process in and of itself. And if you need some assistance with that, if you're feeling like, yes, easier said than done, then I have a masterclass for you. It is called Taking the Lead, and I help you build the structure to your dream life so that you can be able to effectively take control. And you're able to work on exercise like this. We work on it together. I do have a link down below, and you can go into my calendar and see what days are available. I do have them a few times throughout the month, so go ahead and see what date works better for you, and we can go ahead and get you started on the right track. But if you feel like you need something a little bit more in depth, I do also do discovery sessions where we're able to really hone in and see some of the things that you are having great challenge with, and that it's really hard for you to detect what it is, and you just need a little bit of help of insight. Then I do have discovery session calls, also linked down below, and then you can just book one with me, and we can help you untangle some of those challenges that you're going through, bring them to light so that you can identify them and know what to work on precisely and personally on yourself, on your path to personal development. And I do have a wonderful course. It is a 12-week program, and it's exciting because it does take you through so many different elements, so many different triumphant moments that you will encounter, and you're able to see that you're not that far from your dream life at all. And I help you walk through that in this 12-week course, which is called Tailor Your Life, and I'll have more details down below. So if you're interested, that is about to open up in just a few days, and then I'll have that available for you. But yes, I'm very excited for that because it embodies everything that I have worked on, everything that I've developed, and I've been able to boil it down to the most simplest form and offer it to you so that you are not boggled down by so many details and so many fluffy components to life, and you just get the core, true, authentic advice that's going to allow you to connect with who you really genuinely are. And it's a beautiful program, and it's structured in the way that every day you do get kind of like a lesson, you get a task to do on a daily basis that is working on yourself. So you get to see the beauty of you and the unfolding of you. And yeah, I'm really excited. It's a beautiful course, and something that I'm very proud of, and something that I feel that it takes some of the challenges that you face and really simplifies it, and helps you know how to do the right work in you. So if that is something that you're interested, I will link it down below and you'll have more details on it. But for now, I just wanted to be able to share with you that you are amazing, and you got to give yourself more credit. You work really hard. In fact, you probably work too hard. You got to give yourself some grace, but also realize that you are not too far from what you really want. So go ahead and start doing that exercise where you're able to see what you've already accomplished, and start connecting yourself and looking at yourself as a winner, because you are. And the elements in where you feel like you fall short, then those are just elements that need to get developed, but that doesn't justify having like talking yourself down and having that negative self-talk. Because if you haven't accomplished something, it's not because you have no desire to, it's that you don't know how to truly go about it, and that's okay. And that's why you have coaches that are willing to help you, like myself. You have programs that are willing to help you, like some of the ones that I have developed to meet you right where you are. And that's what this community is about. It's not about judging. It's about helping you clear the fog so that you can see clearly who you are, what you're meant to do, and how to impact in an effective way where you are able to love your life, have it be your dream life, and remove all of those mindsets and behaviors that truly just keep you away from that dream life that you desire so much. So thank you for hanging out with me today, and as always, I will see you next time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And if you enjoyed this episode and feel like it was insightful, then I ask you to please rate it, like it, and subscribe. And share it with someone you feel will enjoy it. I'll be back here next week, and we will continue to discuss matters regarding personal development. Take care, guys. Have a blessed week, and I'll see you next time.